guys, welcome back to Zunstill Hobbies, and in today's video we are going to be reviewing Star Wars Season 7 of the Clone Wars, and I'm already starting to tear up just the word of Star Wars The Clone Wars is back. I'm already starting to tear up. Typical. Before we really get into that, first off, I apologize for the lying. Fact is, I am going to be doing a bunch of cool and different stuff with my tanks. That stuff will be on the channel in the upcoming weeks, so if you guys like fixed tanks and you want to know what's going on back here, I'll talk about it in other videos. But let's go ahead and stick to Star Wars The Clone Wars. So, the fact is, I'm recording this part of the video before I watch Star Wars The Clone Wars. So I want to give you both my thoughts going into this, as well as what I'm going to do with this on my channel. So the fact is, I am not a reaction channel. I am a review channel. I will react to trailers and stuff like that, but doing the whole reaction thing, you really have to deal with certain laws of copyrights and stuff like that, and it's really difficult. I tried it in the past. Did not work out for me. I'm a review channel, and if you guys want to hear my review and my thoughts on Star Wars The Clone Wars, then subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of that. I'm also going to be, of course, reviewing the Darth Vader comic books, as well as I can't wait for the last chapter of the Kylo Ren comic book. I'm also writing my own Star Wars book and putting it onto YouTube. So if you guys are interested in a fan-made Star Wars story made by me, subscribe, because I do a whole bunch of that. Not to mention, I have fish and cats, which is what this back here is all about. Ignoring that. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going to happen on this channel when it comes to the series. I have in my schedule, in my monthly schedule, only 2 spots for Star Wars Clone Wars. I can make a couple extra videos, and I'll try, but most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to review 2 episodes at a time. Not in today's video. In today's video, we are just going to review the first episode. But yeah, I'm probably going to be doing a couple of episodes every 2 weeks. If not, I can make maybe a couple extra videos. If you guys just want more Star Wars The Clone Wars reviews and more Star Wars The Clone Wars videos in general, just let me know down in the comments below. I'll definitely make more when it comes to Star Wars The Clone Wars. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and give you guys my thoughts. So, let me tell you a little bit of history about me. I am a Star Wars fan, and the way I got into it is really interesting. So my dad was a Star Wars fan, but at the time, he had family, so he couldn't make it to the theater. So when Star Wars Episode 2 came out, he had family, so he had to wait for it to come on DVD, and then he brought it home, and he asked everyone if we wanted to watch it. Well, me being a snot-nosed, bratty kid that I was like, anything my dad's into was gonna be lame. Yes, I unfortunately thought, there was a time that I unfortunately thought that Star Wars was lame. My sister was a daddy's girl, and she actually watched the entire series with him, except for Episode 3 at the time, because Episode 3 did not come out. And I came out one day, and I saw Darth Vader on TV. And I was like, I have to know more. He was frightening, cool, and he just interested me. And then the more I learned about him, he became one of my favorite characters, and Star Wars became one of my favorite stories, and it's what got me into stories in the first place. The most important thing to me in terms of anything I look into is the story. Is the story interesting? And it's all because of Star Wars that I'm like that. So yeah, after Episode 2 came out, I finally got into it, and Star Wars Episode 3 came out a couple of years later, and me, my dad, and my sister went to go see it. That was the first movie I've ever been to the theater for as well, and I was like maybe, I don't know, 9 years old. Star Wars was the first movie I went to the theater to go see, and it was Star Wars Episode 3. So I got into it just as the series finished. Now, what about the expanded universe? It was way too confusing for me at the time, and I said, if George Lucas isn't interested in it, I'm one of those fans. If George Lucas didn't like it, well, then it's just not for me. It's not canon, so I never got into any of the expanded universe stuff. Then Disney took over Star Wars, and we got the whole rest of the story, right? But before that, I wanted to know more about Star Wars, and the only thing that was left for me was from George Lucas. George Lucas started making Star Wars The Clone Wars. Everyone says the original trilogy was their Star Wars. Some people say the prequels was their Star Wars. I should say the prequels was my Star Wars, but it really wasn't. Star Wars The Clone Wars. It's how I grew up on Star Wars. Star Wars The Clone Wars is what I grew up on. It's why I grew up, you know? And that's the great thing about it. And what's really nice about it is as the story went on, it grew up with its audience as well. And yes, a lot of people are like, well, Star Wars The Clone Wars is very, very childish. And I'm not going to disagree, but it's nothing like what Disney has put out since. I mean, Disney, the whole Disney Star Wars brand, I don't like very much. And like Star Wars Rebels, for example, great story thanks to the great Dave Filoni, but there's too many childish jokes in there, and I just really don't get the sense of the adventure as much as I do with Star Wars The Clone Wars. And that's just because I grew up with Star Wars The Clone Wars. And Star Wars The Clone Wars is such a great story from the minds of both George Lucas and his Padawan, now Jedi Master, Dave Filoni. And when they canceled it, when Disney canceled it, it's one of the reasons why I hated Disney right off the bat. Like, I did not like the idea of Disney owning Star Wars, and I actually used to completely complain about it. I complained about it to my friends, to my family. I did not like it. And then they canceled Star Wars The Clone Wars, and I was even angrier. At the time, Star Wars The Clone Wars was on Netflix. It wasn't even on Cartoon Network anymore, but at least there was Star Wars The Clone Wars. And I loved it. And when they canceled it, I was raging, especially when I heard that there were 2 more seasons out there. I'm like, just finish the 2 seasons and release it. And they never did. Well, now, we aren't getting 2 seasons worth, but we are going to get 1 more season, and that is Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7. When I heard the news that it was coming back, I thought, no way Disney is actually going to do this. But then I heard it from Dave Filoni himself, and I was like, yes, I need this. And going into it right now, I know it's probably going to be the Bad Batch arc, which I don't mind. I want to see the Bad Batch arc actually finish. You know, they did release some of the Star Wars episodes unfinished onto YouTube, and I thought they were really cool stories. I hope that we eventually do get to see the one about Anakin and Obi-Wan adventure with the giant lightsaber crystal. That one was interesting. Going into this, my feelings are, I'm about to cry. I'm just hyped on nostalgia, and I hope Disney doesn't wreck it. Alright, I'm gonna press pause now. I'm gonna go watch the video, watch Season 7, Episode 1, and then review it. Okay, so this is just minutes after I watched Episode 1 of Season 7. First off, the animation looks great. Second off, I love the stupid droids. The it just brings so much nostalgia for me. But what's great is, of course, the story itself. And this arc is the Bad Batch arc. And actually, so when Disney canceled Star Wars, and I already said it before, they actually released the arcs on YouTube unfinished. So I've actually seen the Bad Batch arc. I know the story, but it's great to see it finished. It's great to see the full scenes. Like, even when we got the Bad Batch arc unfinished, a lot of the animation was not done, and there were certain scenes that weren't even there. And it's just great to see the whole thing put together. And it was just a blast. I can't wait to see more. And it's great to see these crazy random clones, and the fact that they're clones, but they're so different from one another, and they work great like a team. And what's even better is they're working even better with the regular clones like Rex and Fives, and I think it's just really interesting seeing how these clones work different from other clones that we've seen, and it's just a lot of fun. But I have seen this arc before. I knew Echo was alive, and that was there's a big spoiler at the end. Echo is alive. But I really, really liked the scene where we saw Rex sitting down with the picture and Cody comes in and he talks about how hard it is to be the ones who stayed alive throughout an entire war like this, and how Rex thinks he's crazy, but he thinks Echo is possibly alive because the battle plans that the droids are using are battle plans that he came up with Echo. So, of course, it's a long shot, and they don't want to believe it. They actually think that Rex thinks that he's pretty crazy, and he doesn't want to believe that it's true. But then at the end, when they hear the heartbeat, hear the human noise, and then it says Echo's number. I can't remember the number exactly, but it says Echo's number. Echo is alive. So now the mission is going to be going to go and save Echo. And it's just very interesting. It's a fun story. And it just brings so much nostalgia for me. What's great about it is it feels like Star Wars. Disney has not touched it. Disney has not touched it. They didn't bring it down with the humor. It had enough humor to make you laugh, but not take you out of the scene. That's what real Star Wars humor does. Real Star Wars humor doesn't take you out of the series. It's just there to calm you down and not decimate from the serious moments. And that's what I love about the Clone Wars. It's real Star Wars humor. This is real Star Wars. Also, I loved seeing Anakin. Anakin, it's hard to see from the TV show because the animation they never really change. Which the animation was great, by the way. But you can just tell that he looks so much older and wiser and angrier. It really starts to connect the Anakin we see in the movies from the Anakin we see in the show. And that's just great that we are starting to get that. And with his hair, his face, the scar, he just looks like Anakin from the movies more than he does from the show. You can still hear the show in him, but he's starting to get that angrier, an angry power from Episode 5. I love it. I love seeing him like that. That was amazing. I can't wait to see more of him. I really hope and I really think we are going to get the Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Anakin Skywalker journey with the big gigantic lightsaber crystal, the big gigantic hyper crystal. I can't wait for that arc. With that said, I'm probably again not going to review this next week, but in a couple weeks I'll take both reviews for episode 2 and 3 and put them in the same video. I believe that this arc will only be about 4 episodes. I could be wrong about that. It could be 3. I believe it's only 4 episodes of this Bad Batch arc. And I love the name Bad Batch. Number 99. That's pretty darn cool. With that said, I loved this arc. Let me know how you guys are loving this first episode of Season 7 down in the comments below. So, yeah, it's nothing new because we see it before, but my god, it's great to see it finished. It's great to see it finished. I'm out. Bye.